Let's start our first news. Garry has opened up about what he believes is the absolute worst possible outcome when he steps into the octagon against Islam Makhachev at UFC 330. As anticipation continues to build for one of the biggest fights of the year, many fans expect Garry to rely on his striking, movement, and speed to stay away from Islam's dominant wrestling. But Garry knows better than anyone that once the fight begins, everything can change in an instant. Speaking during a recent appearance on the High Performance podcast, Garry admitted that the biggest danger isn't getting knocked out or submitted. Instead, he believes the true nightmare would be spending the entire championship fight trapped underneath Islam's relentless grappling attack. According to Garry, being controlled on the ground for all 25 minutes would be the worst scenario imaginable. He explained that Islam is an elite wrestler and one of the most effective grapplers in the sport today. If he manages to secure top position and maintain control, escaping becomes incredibly difficult. Garry described the feeling as having a massive weighted blanket pressing down on you, making every movement exhausting while slowly draining your energy. It's a style that doesn't always produce spectacular highlights, but it has proven incredibly effective against world-class opponents. Garry made it clear that he has no interest in allowing that type of fight to unfold. He believes spending 5 rounds pinned underneath his opponent would be frustrating for him, disappointing for the fans, and ultimately the least entertaining version of the contest. In his view, nobody truly enjoys watching a fight where one athlete controls the other without giving them many opportunities to fight back. He also pointed out that Islam has already used this exact formula to capture UFC gold. By relying on his suffocating pressure, relentless wrestling, and outstanding positional control, Islam has repeatedly shut down dangerous opponents and forced them to fight at his pace. Garry understands exactly what makes the champion so difficult to beat, which is why avoiding those positions will be one of his biggest priorities on fight night. Rather than showing fear, Garry's comments reflected his awareness of the challenge ahead. He recognizes Islam's strengths, respects what the champion has accomplished, and knows that surviving those grappling exchanges could determine the outcome of the fight. His goal will be to keep the action where he feels most dangerous, while doing everything possible to prevent Islam from turning the contest into another display of relentless control. Move on to another news. Michael Morales may have accidentally revealed a potential matchup against Rakhmonov. The rising welterweight contender recently shared a video on his Instagram story while watching the Garry versus Shavkat fight, and one small detail caught the attention of fans. In the clip, Morales appeared to zoom in on Shavkat's name, leading many to believe he could already be studying footage for a possible upcoming fight. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the timing has created speculation that the UFC could be planning a showdown between these two dangerous welterweights. A fight between Morales and Shavkat would make a lot of sense for the division. With Garry already scheduled to face Islam Makhachev, the UFC's options for Shavkat's next opponent become limited. Another name being discussed is Carlos Prates, but reports suggest Carlos may be waiting for the winner of the Garry versus Islam fight before making his next move. That leaves Morales as a very interesting option. The Ecuadorian fighter has quickly built a reputation as one of the most exciting prospects in the welterweight division. His combination of speed, power, and technical ability has made him a serious threat to anyone standing across from him. Meanwhile, Shavkat remains one of the most feared contenders in the UFC. Known for his undefeated record, elite finishing ability, and dangerous all-around game, he represents one of the toughest challenges any welterweight can face. If this matchup becomes official, it would be a huge opportunity for Morales to prove himself against one of the division's most respected fighters. A battle between these two could potentially deliver a high-level clash between two of the UFC's most dangerous rising stars. Move on to another news. A UFC fighter has revealed the injuries he suffered following his recent appearance at UFC Oklahoma City. Austin Bashi stepped into the octagon over the weekend to face Jose Delgado in a competitive matchup, but after the fight came to an end, he revealed that he was dealing with some serious damage. Bashi ultimately suffered a unanimous decision loss, but despite the setback, he showed the mindset of a true fighter by focusing on recovery and getting back to competition. Shortly after the event, Bashi took to Instagram to update his fans and share the injuries he sustained during the fight. According to Bashi, he suffered a fractured nose as well as a fractured orbital bone. These types of injuries can be extremely painful and often require significant recovery time, especially for athletes who compete at the highest level of combat sports. In his message, Bashi remained positive and grateful, giving credit to God, his family, his fans, and his team for their continued support. He made it clear that although he suffered injuries inside the cage, he still has the passion and determination to continue pursuing his career. Bashi said that he is thankful for everyone who has supported him and that he appreciates all the messages he has received. He also explained that it is time to take some time off, recover properly, and then return to training as soon as possible. The young fighter's attitude showed the mentality required to compete in the UFC. Losses and injuries are part of the sport, but Bashi made it clear that this setback will not stop him from moving forward. His love for fighting remains strong, and he is already focused on making his return. While the injuries are significant, Bashi confirmed that he expects to come back once he has fully recovered. Fans will now be waiting to see how long his recovery takes and when he will be ready to step back inside the octagon. For now, Austin Bashi's focus is on healing, resting, and preparing for the next chapter of his UFC journey. His determination proves that even after a difficult night, fighters continue to push forward and chase their goals. Move on to another news. Brendan Allen has made it clear that he wants a fight against Du Plessis after calling out the middleweight contender on social media. Following Du Plessis' impressive victory over Kamaru Usman, the South African fighter immediately turned his attention toward a potential showdown with the current middleweight champion, Sean Strickland. However, that did not stop Brendan Allen from making his own intentions known. Taking to X, Allen directly challenged Du Plessis and questioned whether the matchup would finally happen or if he would continue waiting. His message suggested that he believes Du Plessis has been avoiding the fight and wants an opportunity to settle things inside the octagon. Allen has built momentum recently, winning 3 straight fights and establishing himself as one of the top contenders in the middleweight division. He is currently ranked number 5 among media rankings, making him a legitimate name in the title picture. Despite that, a fight between Allen and Du Plessis may not be the most likely option right now. After his latest victory, Du Plessis appears to have bigger opportunities ahead of him, especially with a possible title fight against Sean Strickland being discussed. There is also speculation that a rematch between Strickland and Khamzat could be booked next, which would create another obstacle for Allen's chances of getting the matchup he wants. The UFC has several options available in the middleweight division, and the promotion may choose to go in a different direction. Names like Nassourdine Imavov and Joe Pyfer have also been mentioned as possible opponents for Du Plessis. Both fighters are highly ranked contenders and could provide an interesting challenge if the UFC decides to move forward with either matchup. For Brendan Allen, calling out Du Plessis is a way to keep himself in the spotlight and show that he believes he belongs among the division's elite. Whether the fight happens soon or not, Allen is making his intentions clear that he wants a major opportunity and is ready to compete against the best middleweights in the world. Move on to another news. The UFC has announced several exciting matchups for an upcoming fight card, giving fans a closer look at what the event lineup will look like. During the UFC Oklahoma City broadcast, the promotion revealed the majority of the card, although the main event has still not been announced. One of the confirmed fights will see Kelvin Gastelum return to action against Yusri Belgaroui on September 12th. Gastelum was last seen competing against Vicente Luque in April, where he suffered a first-round submission loss. The veteran fighter currently holds a UFC record of 14 wins, 11 losses, and 1 no contest. Standing across from him will be Belgaroui, who has made a strong start to his UFC career. He is currently 2-0 inside the promotion, with both victories coming by finish. His most recent performance came against Mansour Abdul Malik in March, where he secured a third-round victory after stopping him with knees. One of the biggest talking points heading into this matchup is the size difference. Gastelum stands at 5 feet 9 inches, while Belgaroui has a much larger frame at 6 feet 6 inches. That physical advantage could become an important factor once these two fighters step inside the octagon. Another fight announced for the card is a matchup between Tim Elliott and Edgar Chairez. Elliott has been competing in the UFC since 2012 and currently holds a record of 10 wins and 12 losses inside the promotion. His last appearance came in May against Steve Erceg, where he lost by unanimous decision. Meanwhile, Chairez enters this fight with momentum. He currently holds a UFC record of 4 wins, 2 losses, and 1 no contest. He is riding a 3-fight winning streak, with his latest victory coming in June against Bruno Silva, where he earned a first-round submission and secured a Performance of the Night bonus. With more fights expected to be added and the main event still waiting to be revealed, this UFC card is starting to take shape with several interesting matchups already confirmed. Move on to another news. The future of a potential rematch between Du Plessis and Sean Strickland is starting to become unclear, as recent comments have raised doubts about whether the fight will actually happen next. Following their previous battle, discussions around a second meeting between the two middleweights continued, but one major factor has changed the conversation. Instead of focusing only on the result, attention has shifted toward how the fight played out and the performance of both athletes inside the octagon. Many people suggested that Sean may have struggled because of his preparation or a difficult weight cut, but those claims have been pushed back by those close to the situation. According to the latest comments, blaming fatigue or a bad cut does not fully explain what happened during the fight. The belief is that Sean simply performed at an extremely high level. His ability to maintain pressure, absorb damage, and continue pushing forward made him a difficult opponent to deal with. Rather than depending on excuses, the focus should be on the fact that Sean executed his game plan effectively. Before the fight even happened, there was already a belief that if anyone could challenge Du Plessis' unique fighting style, it would be Sean. His toughness, durability, and ability to defend against takedowns made him one of the toughest matchups available in the division. Du Plessis is known for his unusual pace, physical strength, and relentless approach, but Sean showed that he could handle that pressure and stay competitive throughout the fight. With both fighters having unfinished business in the eyes of many fans, a rematch remains an interesting possibility. However, the UFC has several options at middleweight, and the direction of the division could depend on upcoming matchups and title plans. For now, the future of Du Plessis versus Sean remains uncertain. Move on to another news. Colby Covington has explained the current situation surrounding a potential matchup with Belal Muhammad and why the fight has not moved forward yet. After competing at RF, where he faced a lightweight opponent, Colby shared his thoughts on what could happen next. According to Colby, he believes the matchup with Belal is still possible, but he wants the fans to have a say in his next wrestling challenge. During his appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Colby revealed that he would allow fans to vote on who he should compete against next. If the fans choose Belal, he said he would still be willing to accept that matchup. Colby also discussed his recent wrestling competition and gave credit to Arman for the performance he delivered. Despite their intense battle, Colby showed respect for Arman's strength, technique, and physical ability. He explained that Arman was one of the strongest opponents he had ever faced, especially during their takedown exchanges. Colby recalled one moment where Arman lifted him completely off the mat, saying he was surprised by the amount of power and explosiveness behind the move. The match between Colby and Arman went down to the final seconds, with both competitors maintaining a high pace and constant pressure until the final bell. Colby described the experience as a true challenge and said it was a privilege to compete against someone with that level of wrestling ability. The appearance also brought attention to Ben Askren, who returned to competition for the first time since being hospitalized last year due to complications from a staph infection. His comeback was a major talking point, adding another layer of interest to the event. With Colby still looking for his next challenge and fans potentially having a role in deciding his opponent, the future remains open for another major wrestling matchup.